DreAllDay.com.
California, I'm gonna tell y'all what to do when it rains. And it rains, it's pouring in Tampa. Listen, it rains everywhere. Anywhere you live, eventually it's gonna rain. I know Tony had the song that said it never rains in Southern California. Some of y'all don't even know what I'm talking about, but it rains everywhere. Anywhere you go, it rains. And of course, metaphorically, it rains. Whenever it rains in life, y'all heard the phrase, when it rains, it pours, right? Jessica, you know that song I'm talking about? Y'all heard the phrase, when it rains, it pours. Sometimes when things go wrong, more things go wrong. It goes wrong over and over again. It rains all the time in Ireland. It rains in Seattle. I know in some places it always rains, but I'm going to tell you what to do when it rains in your life and your business and your sport. Here's the number one thing you need to do. I'm going to tell you 3 things you need to do when it rains, all right? Number one thing you need to do in life when it rains is you need to get yourself a damn umbrella. Get yourself an umbrella because you need to CYA is what they say in business. That means cover your ass. And what does that mean? That means anytime that things start going wrong in life or things are turning left, things not going the direction you want them to, you need to have an umbrella, which means you need to plan ahead for when it rains. You don't want to go on a 5-mile hike away from your house without a car and no umbrella if the forecast said it was a 60% chance of rain. That's just being stupid. So you got to make sure that you have an umbrella with you. And here's the thing you got to understand about an umbrella. You don't have to be your own umbrella. Again, I'm talking in metaphors here. You don't have to be your own umbrella. Understand that anything that you don't have, somebody else does have. So if you're not the umbrella, let's just say, for example, you running a business, right? You're running a business and your business takes a big hit. You lose a couple clients. You don't think you have enough money to cover payroll for the week, but you got a good relationship with your bank. Your bank can send you a loan for $20,000, and that'll help you cover payroll for the next 8 weeks while you get some more clients. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be you that provides the umbrella, but other people can provide the umbrella. So number one thing you do when it rains, when things start going wrong in life, is that you need to cover your ass. Make sure you have an umbrella so that you're ready for anything that happens that was unexpected. So expect the unexpected. That's the number one thing. Have an umbrella. Number 2 thing you must do anytime it rains in life is you got to put the plants out. And when I used to live in this apartment in South Beach where we had, like, when you open the door, there was like an awning or something, like a little roof, like one of those little half roofs there. So if it was raining, the rain wouldn't drop on your head as soon as you stepped out the door, but you had to take like 2 steps so it would rain on you. So this guy, he had these plants that he kept like right outside of his crib. He was my neighbor. He kept these plants right outside of his apartment, but the way they were situated, if he just left them there when it rained, the plants wouldn't get no water. So anytime that it started raining, he would come outside in the rain, because I would hear him open his door. He would come outside in the rain every time it rained, and he would move his plants out into the open air so that the rain could drop on them, so the plants could get the water, so the plants could start, getting the nourishment. Understand? So the point that I'm sharing that with you for is this. When you put the plants out when it's raining, that means there's some part of your situation, some part of your business, your mindset, your life, your team, your organization, something can benefit from the rain. There's always a benefit you can get from the rain. So you got to make sure that you put yourself in a position to benefit from whatever happens. If you was following my Snapchat yesterday, after it rained, I was walking to Whole Foods, and there was a big ass rainbow right over the city, right over the Biscayne Bay, right over Miami River. There's always a rainbow that comes out when it rains. So you got to make sure you position yourself to be at the end of the rainbow so you can benefit from whatever is coming with the rain. So when it rains, that's water. Trees need water, plants need water. That's the only way they grow, and trees and plants is where we get our fruits and vegetables from. So we need those. So make sure you put the plants out every time it rains. Number 3 thing you got to do when it rains. Anytime it rains, here's the 3rd thing you got to do. You got to come outside after the rain, and you got to look for the worms. And where I'm from in Philadelphia, I remember whenever it would rain, we would come outside after the rain, there'd be a whole bunch of worms out there, and then the birds would come eat the worms. That's where they get the phrase, the early bird gets the worm. The worms come out when it rains. I don't know why they do, but they do. What does that mean for you? That means anytime a situation goes wrong, doesn't go the way you want it to, you face a setback in life, the first thing you must start thinking about when that setback is happening, while it's happening, or while you're getting to the end of that setback, you're starting to get into the clear, is you need to start thinking about what is the benefit that I can get from this situation. What is the benefit that I can get from the fact that it just rained? Where are the worms at? Let me get out here so I can get the worms. If you had, let's say if I gave you, let's say your great grandmother died and she left you an inheritance of some very valuable diamonds. These are diamonds from buried in Eastern Asia. They came from somewhere they've been appraised. They're worth $250,000 or more. And she gave you a whole bag of them. You didn't know what to do with them, but you were very thankful to have them. So you kept them buried in some drawer hidden in your bedroom at home, right? You go on a 3-day vacation to Disney World. You come back from your vacation and you find that your house burned down and everything in your house is just sitting in a big pile of rubble and ash. But the first thing you think about when you pull up to your house is that those diamonds are buried somewhere in that rubble and ash. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do at that exact moment if you come home and you know that your house is burned down? You see the rubble and ash there, but you know that those diamonds are buried somewhere in the rubble and in the ash. What's the first thing you're going to do? Before the fire people do anything, before the insurance guy comes, you're going to get a shovel and start digging. Exactly. You're going to get a shovel and start digging. What are you digging for? You're digging for those diamonds. So what does that mean? Anytime something goes wrong in life, anytime something doesn't work out, first thing you need to start doing is you need to start digging for what is the benefit of this situation. What is the benefit that I can get? What is the diamond that I can get out of this situation that's going to help me out? Understand that every situation in life, ladies and gentlemen, any bad situation carries an equal and opposite benefit. And every benefit carries an equal and opposite penalty if used the wrong way. Every situation has a yin and a yang. Everything balances out in life. So when your house burns down, there's a diamond in there, but you got to dig for it. Every cloud has a silver lining. That's what they say, right? So every time a situation you face is not what you wanted, start thinking about what is the benefit from this situation, because there always is one. The fact is most people miss it because all they're looking at is the fact that it's raining and thinking about all the stuff they lost because it was raining, the picnic they couldn't have, the basketball game they couldn't play, how traffic made them slow down to get home. They start thinking about all the negative things. When you think about negative things, what do you draw to yourself? More negativity. So let me go over these one more time. 3 things you do every time it rains. Number 1 thing you do when it rains is get yourself an umbrella. Cover your ass, because bad things will happen in life. Things that you didn't expect and don't want will happen in life. The only mistake is to not be prepared for it. And if you're not prepared, there's someone who is prepared. And if you give them what they need, they'll give you what you need, which is a covering, that covering of your ass for the rain. Number 2 thing, when it rains, put the flowers out. Put the flowers out because there is some part of you, some part of your business, organization, family, or team that can benefit from this situation. But if all you're focusing on is a negative, you won't even think about it. So make sure you put the plants out every time it rains so your plants can get that water, because the plants need the rain. All right, you love the sun, but the plants love the rain because that's how they grow. And number 3 thing, every time it rains, come outside as soon as it's over and check for the worms. Get the worms. If your house burned down and there was diamonds buried, if there was diamonds in your house and your house burned down, you would get a shovel and start digging for the diamonds, because you know they're worth more than everything that was in that house. You're not even worried about the house. You're just worried about finding those diamonds. Do the exact same thing every time it rains. Come outside, find those worms. The early bird gets the worm. That's where it comes from. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dre Baldwin. I do these scopes every damn day. I do my podcast every day. I blog every day. I put videos on YouTube every day. And that's why they call me DreAllDay. My company is called Work on Your Game. Sometimes I put the F in there for emphasis. If you go to my website, DreAllDay.com, you can find out everything you need to know about me. What's going on? Tap that ass. If you want to find out more about me, go to DreAllDay.com. You want to hear my TED Talks? They're on my website. My podcast, you want to listen to my podcast, is on my website. My Snapchat is on my website. All my social media. And if you want to contact me directly, you can just hit me via email, and my email address, and guess where that's at? On my website. So everybody, thank you for checking this scope. My name's DreAllDay. Make sure you follow me here on Periscope. Don't be dumb and miss out on these jewels that I be dropping. Work on your game. You ain't got to bury through a burned down house to find them. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. If you on Snapchat, hit me on the Snap. My Snap name is @DreBaldwin. You already know how that works. And I got a podcast, if you didn't know. It is called Work on Your Game. It is an everyday podcast where I talk about getting yourself into the right mindset, that bulletproof mindset. Getting yourself seen, heard, known, getting the exposure you want, and making things happen in your life instead of waiting for things to happen to or for you. Subscribe to that podcast. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Make sure you check it every single day. Make sure you're subscribed so you catch the heat. Work on your game. Dre Ball. I feel like Dre Ball. I feel like Dre Ball.